Hello, Tasnim. I'm Mike. Tom and I spoke earlier after you and I had talked on Skype earlier, and just wanted to walk you through everything that the keynote presentation did, because it does a whole lot more than just the image you saw, and maybe you didn't quite see that. So just going to walk you through how the whole app works real quick. I've made 2 new keynotes with the changes in there. I will send you those files along with a link to this video. So let's get started. Pulling this up, this is the 4 category one. If you just open Keynote, select the first slide, and then hit play right here. We'll go full screen. This would be the loading screen as it comes up. I'm going to go ahead and click to show what happens next, because I have no way of setting timed actions on here. The very first time the application launches, the nag screen should come up. And I think every 5 launches after that, that's a setting, and I'm going to include the code for that. It was something Trey Smith did. It's used in a lot of apps. I'm sure you've probably seen it before. It's called a nag screen. Trey's programmer actually already did the code for this, and I believe it's just a matter of setting a variable and probably making the call from our app. I'll include that code along with the 2 PowerPoints when I send this to you. Clicking anywhere will not do anything. If you click up on the close box right here, it will continue on to the main menu screen. From here would be the 4 categories, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will be skinning this whole thing out and putting in a different category screen for every app we do. In the future, after you've completed the 4 category app and the single category app, we're going to be reskinning this. So we basically need hotspots where the user can tap the size of these 4 images. And this is where we will place our 4 categories as we duplicate this app. Right down here, the little star will be is a link to the More screen. Over here, the info button is kind of a how to use this app for somebody who can't figure out how to use such a simple app. But we wanted to put it in there. All of these items are clickable, at least the first category. I did not set up all 4 categories. I figured 1 would be enough to show, and we'll do that in just a second. But all of these actually work when the presentation is running. So you can click on the More screen. It will take you here, where the user would be able to click on any of these items, and we'll set all this up. This is all going to be server-side HTML, CSS, that we'll call to via a URL. What we need for you to do is to overlay this image, which I've included in the assets, this little close box right here. Clicking on that, of course, will take us back to wherever we were at. I've set this up. I've tried to be overly detailed on this. No matter where you're at, it'll take you back to where you're at. So clicking on the first, actually we'll click on this info screen right here too. This is going to be instructions on how to use this simple app. This is the only asset I have not included at this point, I believe. And Tom and I will get that to you ASAP, probably before the end of the weekend. Clicking the close screen or close box takes you right back. Clicking each one of these again would take you to a different category. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now, just this one in the upper left-hand corner is functional for this presentation. So go ahead and you click on that. It will take you to the first image where the menu bar will show initially. Because we cannot do a swipe action in this presentation, I've included these buttons to simulate a swipe action. So if the user was to swipe to go previous, actually it would probably be the opposite, but to swipe backwards like that, it would come back to the main menu screen here. If the user was to swipe this way, or swipe, anyway, to swipe to the next, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, you can click that and it would take you there. I've only included the first 2 images to show the functionality. If the user is to tap anywhere on the screen, you can click here to simulate that, and it would remove the menu bar or put the menu bar back in. This will work repeatedly. When the menu bar leaves the screen, it should actually move down And when it comes back up, when somebody taps, it should actually animate coming in. This is what happens in the Pimp My Screen app, the one that I gifted you earlier today. You should be able to see how that works. Feel free to play with that. When in doubt, we're really mimicking that functionality. Moving on. Also, while the menu bar is active, these will work. These next and previous buttons, as well as the home button, which will take us home. Going back to our category again. The more screen, which will bring up our more screen. Hitting close will return us to the same image, or wherever the user was at that time. I.e., if we were right here and we hit the more screen, and the user decided to close it as opposed to selecting one of the items, he would close it and it would return him to right there. This particular action right here would save the current image to the user's photos folder to be used as wallpaper and display this dialog, which is explaining to them how to go to their settings and set the wallpaper that they just saved to photos. Clicking the OK box will take you right back. And I think we've now clicked every button in the entire app. If the internet is not present, there should probably be a background image, much like the one in Pimp My Screen, that shows up. This would probably be a copy of our splash screen, set at probably half opacity. I think that's similar to what they do. Or maybe something that says loading that comes up until the image actually loads from the server. Let's see, what else can we do? Let's go ahead and go home. I hope that answers all your questions. Now, that is actually just the 4-category app. To be completely clear, I've included a 1-category PowerPoint as well. Let's go ahead and put this one away. And here we have the 1 category. We select the first screen, hit play. From here, this would be like the loading screen. This would be, again, a skinnable item. This is something that's going to get changed out every time we make a new app from the code you give us. It would come up with the nag screen, which again will be server-side HTML. Closing that, moves on. The 1-category app, this is really the only change in the 1-category app. And it's going, this would be the size of the hotspot we're looking for. So if the user taps anywhere in this box, it's going to take them to the first category. If you wrote the 4-category app first, this should be a simple change to create the 1-category app. Should be really quite simple. So we would just make that hotspot bigger and remove the other ones, and all the other functionality is really going to be the same. Again, clicking here is going to take us to the more screen, return us back. Clicking info is going to take them instructions on how to use the app, take us back. Clicking the hotspot is going to move us right into our category. Everything else really functions the same. Saving the image, tapping to remove the menu bar. Everything else is really identical. Actually on that one, I'll fix that. The home screen actually takes us to the 4-category when it should take us to the 1. I will fix that in the PowerPoint before I send it to you. Other than that, I think we are all set. If you have any other questions, please contact me. I want to make sure that we're communicating this as clearly as possible. And that we also have a really firm deadline on this. That this is really key that we're able to release this immediately when the iPad 3 comes out. Now, I realize that we may have to make some changes right away that day, but we want to be in the position to where this is done and the iPad 2 version is already submitted and approved. So it's going to be a simple update on the day the iPad 3 comes out. Again, if you have any questions, please contact me. Actually, please contact me either way and let me know that you understand this. And that's about it.